The time has come. I return.
Yo, what's up? Back with another Smite Meta update. It's been a while, but I also, if you haven't been paying attention or haven't seen my community tab post, I did say that meta update was coming. I was just waiting until I actually knew what the meta was to give you something. I didn't want to just spit out information that was wrong. Regardless, meta update is getting a bit of a new format. I still will be going from role to role and talking about characters and what they do, but when it comes to the build path, if they have relatively the same build path, I'm not going to be showing a build for every single character. They apply for the same characters that I'm speaking of, unless something is specified or I show something else, or their builds are completely unique that I have to show something else. Like, for example, for most ADCs, their builds are similar. So, I'm not going to show you a build for every single one that I'm going to mention. It just makes it easier on me, for one. And it also makes it more digestible. I think this would just be better overall. It condenses the runtime of the video. It lets you watch the whole thing. Lets you learn. I'm not done yapping yet. Saturday. This Saturday, February 10th. I will be playing an inbounds draft tournament. I will be playing on Team Cherio. First round, we're against Team Sam for Soccer. My team is me, Cherio, Erupt Crimson, Spay, and Alexfia. And I think it's going to be super fun. I think we're going to go far. I've learned a lot from them. At least I've learned a lot from them, and we know what we're comfortable on, what we feel like we're going to be slamming, what styles we want to play, and I think we're going to go through it. If you're interested, come support. I will be streaming them if my internet permits. If not, Cherio will definitely be streaming them, and I will link his Twitch and my Twitch both in the description. Otherwise, let's get started. So, as per usual, we start in the Hunter role, move all the way over to solo lane. And who else to start the Hunter role off? Hachiman has quite a bit of strength right now. The ADC builds are strangely unique and have a lot of variety, which is not typical for this role, because usually there's one set build that, oh, this is the most damage you could do. I think this role does too much damage right now because of how much their items just do right now. But, besides the point. So, here's what I have put together. This works for any of the hunters that I'm going to be talking about. You can either go Leader's Cowl or Guild Arrow. Either one works. And you will go into Devourer's Gauntlet or Crimson Claw. You don't need to go both. You can go either or. Followed by an Exi, a Dominance, and then a Kins. But in any of these slots, you can go Demon Blade instead of these, and push these back. But if you do go Demon Blade, get a Deathbringer. Devoted Deathbringer is stupid. Plain and simple. This item is dumb. In every sense of the word. There's only one anti-crit item, and it's Spectral Armor, and that item is Cheeks. And being able to get multiple glyphs means you can get the Executioner glyph that you want. Would be this one. The other hunters you would be looking at, Chernabog, still really strong. Rama's still really strong. Ishtar's still really strong. Onher's still really strong. And those are kind of the ones I've been seeing do the best. I have been seeing a lot of stuff, but those are the ones I've been seeing do the best. Anyway, moving over to support. Support's a bit more difficult to kind of put a number on, because it varies depending on elo, but I think the best one right now, especially because you've got people who are just coming back to the game for Season 11 before Smite 2 comes out for whenever that does, and people are playing ranked, and you're mixed at a bunch of different levels. Sobek just feels good. Throwing somebody into your entire team feels good. This is sort of what you're going to be looking at in terms of your build. You could go any of these starter items. I think Sentinels or Warflag is your better bet. Specifically, Warflag just feels really good right now, especially in ranked. You can go into Prophetic, Gauntlet of Thieves, Eldritch Dagger, and then you can build whatever the hell you want, really. You can go Divine Ruin if you want. Some supports have been going like a Gauntlet of Thieves into Mystical Mail. And then they've just been going like Blink Thorns and running it down, which works in ranked, especially. Gauntlet of Thieves, Mystical Mail, you can go Eldritch Dagger into like Spectral if you need it, which you probably will. Midgard, whatever magical D item you want. It just feels good, you know? But if you are going for more defensive relics, you're probably going to look at Shell. Horrific is so strong. This gives so much. With the amount that it does, of course, when I highlight over it and I want it to, look at the essay that I have right here of how much shit it does. I don't even have to tell you that it does a lot of stuff, and it does a lot of stuff. Regardless, it's stupid. Other picks you may want to look at in rank still: Athena, Kuzenbo, Yamoja, Ares. Specifically, Kuzenbo and Ares can do that run it down sort of style with the Mystical Mail and the Blinking Thorns, and they just run at people. Bacchus is another sleeper pick. Atlas is another sleeper pick. They all function pretty well. Mid lane. I don't know who else to start with. The bird. So, this is kind of what you're going to be looking at for Thoth. You're going tablet first because book does not take nearly as long to stack because you don't need the last hits on the waves anymore. You just need to do damage because of how stacking works now. Alternate timeline's fucking stupid. This item needs to be nerfed. Holy crap. Why is it that supports are allowed to give prots to their mid laners and their carries, and then mid laners are allowed to build an item that gives them almost the same amount as... It gives them the exact same amount, more than Spirit Robe, and only 5 less than Mantle of Discord. And better stats! I don't get it, man. I really don't. Regardless. This is the build you're kind of be looking at. Proc items do really well. Some mid laners aren't really going percent pen, because you don't entirely need it, but I still think it's good to have. But these are just suggestions. This is what I'm recommending. You don't have to listen. You can tell me to shove it. If you think I suck, say it in the comments. Anyway. And I will definitely acknowledge and read them. But those are the kind of builds you're looking for because of the high damage, the high range poke he has, the amount of times he can proc those items is just super strong. Other picks that do the same thing. Tiamat, Merlin, Kukulkan, all do that sort of stuff. Kukulkan's less so with the procs, but Tornado ticks a couple of times, you know? And then lastly, you have a lot of like varying options right now. In terms of like, I guess your 5th pick mid. And I wasn't really sure what I was going to give it to. And I still really am not. But I'm just going to give it to Janice. You're not going the same sort of build you would be on Thoth. But you're going to be going a very similar sort of tablet, book sort of style. But you're going to want more cooldown with it. And Soul Gem works very well with Janice. He's one of the few characters that still procs it, and he doesn't need percent pen because of his passive. Or not as nearly as much percent pen because of his passive. Soul Reaver. Shard is still good on him. You just make stuff work. Janice is able to rotate around the map and make plays happen by himself, and he's really good at farming. So, there's a reason why I ban it every single game in ranked, because I fucking hate that character. This one's also a bit harder to pin, but I'd be stupid if I acknowledged anybody but this guy first. The season's starting up, and even at the higher end of ranked, this guy's running games. I expected him to run games at the lower end because Thanatos is commonly like a pub stomp god for like gold and below, usually. He just kind of runs shit. But Thanatos is doing a ton right now. And the build I put in didn't save. Give me a moment. But this is kind of what you're looking at. He is able to just exert pressure in the early game. His late game isn't... People say he falls off late game. He really doesn't. He can still absolutely body you. He does a ton of damage. He shreds through tanks. You can build a lot of stuff on him. I think this is the best build, but some people are building fucking crit Thanatos and making it work. I personally think that Bumba's Dagger is the way to go. You can go either of the Bumba's options. But you can also go Seer of the Jungle. Mannequin Scepter is also something that you can use to exacerbate your early game. Other picks that are running games right now, Cambazots is another one that's really doing well. Susano, both of which function with very similar builds to the Thanatos. Except for just don't build mannequins on them. Go the other two starters. But Daji is another one. And Rat and Robin. And if you're going Rat, you build the Stun Acorn. You build the Stun Acorn if you're going Rat. And lastly, solo lane. Solo lane is dictated mostly by one thing, and that's Warrior's Axe. I'd say Vamana is probably your best one, because he can just run it down. It's something akin to not Vamana at like the peak of last season when he was the best he was, but he's somewhat close. Granted, I do think last season peak Vamana was absolutely busted, but Vamana can do a lot, and he can deal with backliners. You're going Axe Animosity to finish out your builds with your starter. You're probably buying a Spectral, and if you need another Magical D item, you can go it. You can go Midgard instead of Mystical in the slot if you think is necessary, like if they're running a double Hunter comp. That's what I've been doing. But this is sort of your like core stuff with Vamana. And what you're mostly going to be building. You can also, instead of Shoguns, go Void. Kusari, whatever. The Voidstone Kusari makes you do more magical damage. Mystical Mail and Axe of Animosity both do magical damage. So you're doing more magical damage while being a physical character. They combine well, and it does a lot of work. But that's also up to you. If you want the Shoguns, take the Shoguns. If you want the Void, get the Void. It's up to you, because you get cooldown from Shoguns, and you get... Or, no, you don't anymore, I don't think. No, you don't anymore. They took it off. I forgot. Cooldown is a much more hot commodity now. Which is good, because they took away class passives. Holy shit, am I happy they took away class passives. Anyway, they're yapping. They're yapping again. They're yapping again. This guy, he makes meta updates. They're helpful, but he yaps. He just yaps. Anyway, Osiris, you'd go much the same build. Both he and Vamana do very similar things, just Vamana's a bit better at it when it comes to like late game. But Osiris in the early game, he has lane pressure. He can secure the buffs much easier. He also is a bit better in the mid game. He's got better rotations in the mid game, and he just does trading much better than some other solo laners. He's a pressure character, and pressure is what you need in solo lane right now. Bellona, another, I'd put her equal to Osiris. You build the same thing, and you look to do the same thing, really. Pressure character, you trade, you build your axe, you build up into the mid game and the late game, you fight, you dive their carries, you use those block stacks in the late game, you use your disarm, you stall them. You don't have to kill them, you could stall them. There's something that people have a misconception of. Solo laners don't have to 0 to 100 carries. I don't think that. They just need to be able to stall them for longer than 3 seconds. This character's very effective. You knew he was coming. You knew. You were just waiting. The whale. Bake Kujira is a unique character in that, first off, no auto attack effects proc on his autos. That includes damage done by Warrior's Axe does not proc on his autos, which means Axe of Animosity does not work. You would go Sundering Axe with him. This would be the build you were looking at. I personally really like Absolution on him because it's nice to have CC immunity in that ultimate. Mobile time dilation is broken. Oh my god. It is broken. This is one of the very few characters that you could build full tank on and still feel in the late game you're doing damage. You're able to kill people. Just because of how his kit works. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets nerfed next patch. But you can go Gilded, you can go Warrior's Axe. I personally think Warrior's Axe is just better because that item is good. And when it's good, it's the only item you buy. But you go Wing Shard because Golden Shard doesn't proc on him. And you exert the pressure through your auto attacks. And your trading's really good. You have to be careful, though. You're very susceptible to characters with executes. Last night in scrims, something funny. I got my shit ran by an Alquang playing this character. And there's really not much I could have done about it. I had to go beads, so I was automatically going to be put behind by that. But I'm yapping again. Regardless. This character exerts pressure, mobile time dilation is broken, his early game is good, his mid game is absolute doo-doo dog ass. His late game is insane. So try to play around those power points and use him like that. And for my last pick in solo lane, if you get auto-filled into the role, character that's boring but usable is Nike. This is kind of what you're looking at with Nike. I think Amulet of the Stronghold, especially now that you can go multiple glyphs, is very good. And I've kind of been undervaluing it, but it's a good item. And especially on characters like this that don't benefit from Shoguns, it could be very powerful. Nike's just good because she's safe, and it's impossible to like lose lane with her. She goes even or wins most matchups. But other than that, that's it. Again, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I think my upload schedule from now on is going to try to be Wednesday to Wednesday. I can't guarantee that. Meta update is going to come out every other week, as per usual. I don't know when they're going to start updating the game. I have no clue. Nobody does. But I'm going to try to base my meta updates around that, as I used to, because that gives me a way to give you guys information properly. Information that you can use for at least a week. Inbound tournament on Friday, noon. Check it out. My stream, Cheerio stream, linked in the description. Also, check out my Baldur's Gate content if you're into that. I think it's good. It's a unique style that not a lot of people have been doing. And YouTube also jipped me on one of them because I said a dodo word in the start of the video. Anyway, peace.